Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is basically almost an entire face of new stuff that I got with my Ulta haul. So far, I'm thrilled with everything. There's a couple of things we'll have to figure out as time goes on, but so far so good. If you're interested to see what I used and what I think, stick around, we're gonna get into it. First, let me just say, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you should do that now. I'm posting 3 videos a week, right around noonish, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also, my subscriber count is going up a little bit. There's certainly not a lot of you, which is fine. But if you leave me a comment, if you're a new subscriber, even if you've been subscribed for a while, I would like to respond to that and just say thanks, personally, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Having said that, let's jump into it. My face is basically naked, so brace yourself. All right, we're gonna jump right in. No fiddle farting around this morning. I'm gonna use the NYX Professional Makeup Born to Glow foundation. This is in the shade Neutral Tan. I honestly think it's kind of a warmer version of neutral, but we shall see. I'm just gonna put some out on my palette. Just gonna scrape that off and slap it on my chin so as to not waste it. Just for reference, that's the consistency of the formula. And I am going to use my new Rare Beauty foundation brush. I'm super excited to try this. Obviously, my brows and my eyes are primed. My brows are done, my eyes are primed. I just went in with my NYX Lift and Snatch brow marker thingy that I love so much. Well, this is going really, really far. Huh. I know the color looks crazy, but the rest of me is still fairly tan. We haven't been getting outside much. Between the weather and it cooling off, I'm wearing a lot more clothes now when we're outside. I'm just gonna finish blending this all over my face and neck, and I'll be back and we'll talk about this and do some concealer. I know I'm looking a little crazy with my under eyes, not done, but I wanted to show you this foundation. I definitely think this is a strong medium coverage foundation. You can still see some of my sunspots or melasma, whatever you want to call it, on my cheek there. And you can barely see my little red. I looked up what it was. It's basically a cluster of blood vessels that popped and collected there. Anyway, you still see that a little bit, but I think I might like this. I have no idea how it's going to wear, and it's very glowy, but I'm going to powder the heck out of my face, which if you've been here before, you already knew that. I also have a new concealer to try. It's the One Size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer, and I got the shade Light 3 because this sucker was $25, and I don't know if it's going to work with my skin right now, but hopefully it will work for sure through the winter because this is expensive. Let's start there and see how we go. It's blending out really nicely. Like I said, the color match isn't fantastic, but I really want to give this a whirl today. A little on my chin. This will help tone down the foundation a little bit as well. Just keeping that to the center of my face. And then I'll go over all of it before I powder with my foundation brush, just for a nice blend. I like to do my smile lines with a light concealer. It helps to bring the lines forward and not look quite so old. Well, I look crazy. All right, I'm gonna go over everything with my foundation brush. I shouldn't be surprised that I think I love this brush. I really love the concealer brush. So when Sephora had their sale in the spring, I grabbed a couple of backups of the concealer brush from Rare Beauty. I really like it. And I feel like I may have to pick up a few more of these too. Well, that looks a lot less crazy. Now I'm just gonna dab over everything with my dampened sponge. This will help to pick up any excess product that might be hanging out where I don't want it to be. And this is the e.l.f. concealer sponge. I love this sponge with my whole heart. It's great. It's super squishy, which entertains me. But it works really, really nicely for this. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute just to see what the concealer does before I set everything down. It's going to settle in my under eye wrinkles. That's what concealers do. But let's find out just how bad it's gonna settle. Okay, now for your viewing pleasure, I'm gonna make a hideous face so you can see what my under eyes look like with this concealer before I pat out the creasing and powder. Hideous, but it's not so bad. Definitely some settling, but really not bad. Okay, I'm gonna powder my face real quick. I'll be back with what we're up to next. I powdered my face. Looks a little bit crazy because we're leaving it on the greasy spots, but I did use my Nakia Joy Cosmetics powder. I wanted to give this foundation a fair shake, and I love this powder with pretty much everything, so that seemed like the way to go. Next up, I'm gonna do bronzer and contour, and I don't have anything new. I'm gonna go with my Glowish bronzer in the shade Tan Light number 3 and my Makeup Geek powder that I use to contour. And I'll be right back. I'm back and my bronzer and contour are on. I gotta say, I am loving this Huda bronzer. I also really like the Huda cream bronzer that I have. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about them because maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I am not a fan of her eyeshadow formulas. In fact, I pretty much refuse to purchase any more of them because I just really don't love them. Especially the 9-pan palettes. Those ones are pretty awful as far as I can tell from the ones I've tried. All right, enough about that. I said that to say that I love the face products so far. For blush, I'm excited to use this, the Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Adults Only. I wore this on Saturday and was like, it's beautiful. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. It is super pigmented, so I'm gonna be ginger. I'm just using my bronzer brush for this. I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful. More of a neutral color, I think. I mean, I'm still piling it on because I like blush, but I think it's really, really pretty. Highly recommend if you're looking for a blush that is glowy and beautiful, but not like blind you with its glow. This is good. I think that blush shade really gives like a sunburned kind of a color. Very almost could be natural, I feel like, without the damage from the sun. Okay, next up, highlighters. You know, one of my favorite things ever, and I'm gonna try 2 today. As you know, I purchased the e.l.f. highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls, and it came broken, but the next one I picked up came not broken, so I wanted to try that. But on Saturday, I wore this Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Ozone, so highlighter shade. And I swatched these on my hand this morning, and in the swatch, they look identical, which has me kind of torn because on Sunday, I loved the highlighter, which was the Nabla, but that one was expensive. And I got it for half price because of the 21-day sale at Ulta. And also excited because if the e.l.f. one is a dupe, that's super cool. You can repurchase for next to nothing. So I have two highlight brushes. They're exactly the same, both IT highlighting brushes. Okay, so on my right cheek, I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. And we'll see what this looks like. That's very pretty. Okay, and on my other brush, I'm gonna go into the Nabla highlighter and get that on my left cheek. They are very similar, but I do, comparing the two, I think the Nabla one looks a little bit smoother than the e.l.f. Same effect. I think they're equally as shiny and bright, but this one looks just a tiny bit smoother to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. It's hard to tell on camera and in the mirror because you're looking at it at an odd angle. Of course, when I edit this, I could discover that both sides look terrible. I'm gonna use the Nabla one to highlight my Cupid's bow in my nose. Okay, let's get lips done and then we'll move on to eyes. So I'm just gonna go in with this lipstick from L'Oreal Paris. I definitely like this one a lot. Not new, but what I have in my collection. And then my J Cat Roll It Up lip liner in the shade, no idea. That's what it looks like. I have no idea what shade it is. All right, so I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I did forget, I wanted to use the Maybelline New York Brow Fast Sculpt Brow Mascara. So I used my Lift and Snatch to paint them in. Now I'm gonna use this. So short side lays down the product. And then long side combs it through. I think I like that. Is that gonna take over top spot from the e.l.f. Brow Wow? I don't know, but I like that a lot. For my eyeshadow, Jackson chose two palettes for me to use today. The Sweet Pinks by Juvia's Place for my lid, and then the Berries for my lower lash line. So that's what we're gonna do today. I may have to dip into the berry shades to do some outer corner work, but we'll see. So I think I'm gonna jump in with this shade right here. They don't have names. It's just a matte peachy color. Okay, here we go. Right up into where my crease, where I want my crease to be, but where it refuses to be because I have hooded eyes. I'm interested to see if these build well on themselves. It's been a long time since I've used Juvia's Place eyeshadow. That went on and blended beautifully. We'll dip into this purpley shade and just put that on a little lower than that first shade. Well, that's fun. I'm gonna leave that inner bit alone for a minute and get a clean brush to blend it with. Okay, clean brush, just gonna blend that out a little bit. My eyelids are wrinkly, things get funky, but a little blending and you're good to go. I think I'm gonna dip into this one right here for my outer V. Just add some dimension. Ooh, that's really pretty. And it will help tie in the lower lash line when I do that. I think I need to use this shade right here. Doing a quick finger swatch, it looks really bright and fun. So I'm gonna get that on my eyeshadow brush, and I am going to wet it with some setting spray. Otherwise it's gonna be all over my face. All right, here we go. Wow. That's really pretty. Super fun. That's really fun. All right. Tiny bit of fallout, but I think that will just sweep right away. I'm gonna go back into the shade we used on the outer corner to deepen that up and just run that under my lower lashes. Probably 3/4 of the way. And I'm gonna use that same sparkly pink shade dampened. That's really cute. And I'm gonna dip into the e.l.f. highlighter for inner corner highlight. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Can't complain about that at all. Okay, I want to use both of my new Juvia's Place eyeliners today. So I'm gonna line my top lash line with the black and my lower waterline with the blue. And I'll come back and we'll do mascara because I have a new one. I have 2 new ones, but we're gonna try one today. For mascara, I'm really excited to try this, and I don't get excited about trying new mascaras, but everyone has been raving about this Rare Beauty. It just says black mascara on the tube, and I got the mini size because I prefer minis whenever possible for something new especially. That's what the brush looks like. So I'm gonna apply this top and bottom, and hopefully it doesn't smudge all over my very pink eyelid. I don't normally feel overly impressed by mascaras, but this one went on really nicely, and I didn't curl my lashes because I've heard this actually does that. So this is my good eye for everything. Lashes, brow, everything on my right side works out well. Left side, kind of pain in the butt. And those lashes fall down and point in. So we'll see when I get to this eye what the mascara does. But I'm gonna go off camera, finish my left eye, doing the exact same thing as my right, and I'll come back and we'll wrap this up. Okay, I'm back. I went in with the ColourPop false lashes that I picked up in the style Bay. I had to trim them up a tiny bit, but I think I like them. I used the Clear Kiss lash glue. I think I like it. What do you think? The mascara did curl my left eyelashes a little bit, so if it stays where I want it and I use it again, I will probably curl my lashes first. I think it might have a nicer effect. That's it. That's the full face of products that came in my Ulta haul. There's obviously still a lot more that I need to use and play with, but I feel good about this. I love the eyeshadow look. I think that is so incredibly fun. Probably more appropriate for spring and summer, but it's fun right now too. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I really appreciate your time today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.